That couldn't have gone much worse. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. This is Tony Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. So, we're going to talk about last night's 9-6 loss to the Tigers. Actually, quite a bit to go over there in a game that was essentially a blowout from the jump. We're going to talk about the Mariners' next steps with the number 5 spot while Kirby recovers, because it just cannot be Emerson Hancock. And we'll get you set for tonight's matchup between Logan Gilbert and Casey Mize. But let's start by talking about what happened last night. So Emerson Hancock was gifted an out by Kerry Carpenter on the base pass. So with that, he only truly got one earned out on the night before his night was over. And before his night was over, he got tagged for 6 earned runs on 7 hits, no strikeouts, 1 walk, and a homer by Riley Green. 4 hard hit balls in total. First 3 batters had a hard hit ball against Hancock. You could tell right away that this was not going in a positive direction for him. And things just really started to unravel. You thought maybe after, Carpenter created that out on the base pass, that he might be able to work his way out of it, just having given up the 2 runs at that point. And then, of course, Riley Green hit that home run, and things just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Before we talk about Hancock real quick, I do want to give some props to the bullpen, specifically Carlos Vargas for holding things down. He went 3 2/3 in this one, gave up 1 earned run on 4 hits with a couple strikeouts and no walks on 44 pitches, only 2 hard hit balls. He saved the portion of the Mariners bullpen, right? He saved Trent Thornton. He saved Gregory Santos. He saved Andres Munoz from having to pitch in this game. And obviously, earlier on in the day yesterday, we were talking about, you should probably DFA him and call up Casey Legamina. So, as someone that has been not necessarily anti-Carlos Vargas, but just been like, you could probably do better. I did want to give props to Carlos Vargas for what he did last night. We're expecting at least 1 move in the bullpen today, just because they probably need to, just to get some fresher arms in there. We'll see what that is. That's probably going to come down after we record, but Colby, we're going to talk more a little later on in the show about what you have to do about this number 5 spot. But I'm giving you the floor to say, I told you so.
I could do that.
Ooh.
It's very easy, and with every passing start, it's more and more obvious to rational, reasonable Mariner fans that Emerson Hancock stinks. He's not good. He's never been good. And I'll tell you what was more frustrating than Hancock getting destroyed last night, because, that's always a possibility with Emerson Hancock. What happened last night is always a possibility, which is a big part of the reason why, he's a bad pitcher, because that is always on the menu. That can always happen. That doesn't always happen to Logan Gilbert. That doesn't always happen to George Kirby. It can happen, but it's not a 50-50 proposition for real major league pitchers.
Yeah, let's quickly go over why that is, right? So last year, right, fans love to point to the 10 of 12 spot starts that he had, where he gave the Mariners a real chance to win in those games, right? He didn't blow up. He gave up, no more than probably 4 runs, which for a number 5 starter, that's fine. That's fine. For a number 5, that's fine. However, you go into the underlying numbers, right? 4th percentile in hard hit rate, 12th percentile in barrel percentage, 12th percentile in ground ball rate. So that means that not only were opposing hitters getting consistent quality contact off of him, they were also lifting the ball with regularity. And then when you dive into his arsenal, his one standout tool, his changeup, requires his lackluster fastball to play up. So you mix that all together, and that is a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what we saw happen last night, right? And yes, he made some tweaks coming into the season. Those clearly did not make a difference last night.
No. And every year, Hancock comes in and he's added velocity. He's throwing a 2-seamer now. He's added 3 different pitches. And every single time we see him, the result is the same. He can't get swing and misses. He gives up a lot of hard contact. It doesn't matter if he's in the middle of the zone or on the edges, he's going to give up hard contact. And the reason why that happens, it is not a desire problem. It is not a work ethic problem. It is a talent problem. Emerson Hancock does not have the talent to be a major league pitcher. He doesn't. There's nothing exceptional about his arsenal whatsoever. The one thing that Hancock does well compared to other major leaguers is he throws strikes. But you know who else throws a lot of strikes? The dudes who are going to be pitching at the home run derby in 4 months. Okay. You have to throw good strikes. You have to throw pitches that have, effectiveness, that they matter, and that they set hitters up and you knock them down. You have to have some stuff. All right. And people sit here and they talk about like, oh, well, Jamie Moyer didn't have stuff. Jamie Moyer had a 60 grade cutter and about a 75, 80 grade changeup with 80 command and 80 control. Emerson Hancock has one pitch that is above average. It is a pitch that needs another pitch to be set up to be that effective. And even then, it's not that good of a pitch. It is a 55 changeup. It's not like a Tommy Kahnle 80 grade changeup or a Devin Williams 80 grade changeup. It is just a pretty good changeup. But the fastball is so bad, it has so little value that hitters don't have to respect it. And last night, Hancock was throwing 95, 96, and he was still getting torched. It is not a velocity issue. It is not a movement issue. The 2-seamer has plenty of movement. There is no value in that fastball. It gets lit up. Doesn't matter if it's 4-seamer or the 2-seamer. He doesn't have value in the fastball. And if you can't get guys out with your fastball, if major league hitters don't have to respect your fastball because there's nothing forcing them to do it, you're cooked. You're done before the game even starts. You can have below average velocity and still have a good fastball because you set it up with the changeup and you mix it up really well with the slider and the sweeper and the cutter. And you can mix and you can match and you can have an 88 mile an hour fastball and still pitch very well. Look at JP Sears, who throws 88 to 91, but he produces everywhere. He produces every time he's healthy because he's got the plus changeup and a really good sweeper, and he throws strikes and he understands who he is. You can get guys out with an average fastball velocity, but the fastball has to have some value to it. You have to get outs with your fastball. It is the pitcher most likely to throw strikes with, and Emerson Hancock cannot do it.
Yeah.
It is not a matter of will or desire or, tweaking or anything like that. It is a matter of talent. Emerson Hancock does not have it.
Yeah.
Period.
And this isn't us being haters or what have you. This is just, these are the numbers. These are what the numbers are telling us. This is what the arsenal is telling us. You put that all together and there's very important context to pull from that. Again, even looking back at his starts last year, where, again, props to him for being able to survive, but he greatly benefited for the most part. I mean, you look at most of his starts, they were mostly at or in Seattle. He greatly benefited from pitching at T-Mobile Park because you can get away with, giving up hard contact and having the ball being lifted in the air because of just the nature of the ballpark and how pitcher friendly it is, right? But that doesn't mean that that's going to happen every single time you go out. Because even at T-Mobile Park, as we saw last night, again, the things that Emerson Hancock are especially bad at, It's a recipe for disaster, no matter what ballpark you're pitching in. And so we finally saw that come to a head. It didn't really come to a head at all last year, except for like that start in Milwaukee. And then there was one other start where he just walked a ton of guys, so I don't really credit him for that one. So that's why I say 10 out of the 12 spot starts, right? He really gave them a chance to win. And it's just, it finally just all culminated in what is always possible with him, unfortunately. Again, we're going to talk about what you do with this 5th spot, because it can't be Hancock. They can't roll him out there against the Giants on Sunday. So let's talk about what their other options are at this point while George Kirby continues to recover from shoulder inflammation in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. All right, folks, it's that time of year again. March Madness is finally here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. That's FanDuel.com. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. Before we talk about what the Mariners could possibly do with the number 5 spot in the rotation, got a few days left on our giveaway, Colby, and we are, at the time of this recording, at 12,980 subscribers on YouTube. So we are 20 away from our ultimate goal, which adds the last possible prize to our grand prize that one of you watching right now or listening will come away with. So, what do we have coming down the pipe for those that maybe aren't familiar yet with our giveaway, even though we've been talking about it for like the last 2 weeks? Maybe this is their first time listening to Locked On Mariners. Who knows? What a hell of an episode for you to pick for your first episode, but hey.
I'm changing hearts and minds out here, Ty. That's the goal today.
Yeah.
So guys, we've been known to do tier giveaways in the past where we set subscriber goals, and for every goal we knock down, we add another prize. Unlike in the past, though, where we've given like one prize to one person with each tier. In this case, only one person is winning everything, and it makes it the biggest grand prize we've ever given away. Already in the pot right now is $125 of Simply Seattle gift certificates, which comes out of Ty's pocket, by the way. Hashtag not sponsored, although, maybe hit us up, let us know.
Yeah.
Could be fun. Could be fun.
LockedOnMariners@gmail.com. Let us know.
Let us know. But already in the giveaway, $125 Simply Seattle gift certificates. Look at that Monopoly money. That's all Ty's hot dog money right there. Right. You'll get this Victor Robles autograph card. You also get this JP Crawford autograph card. You get this Eugenio Suarez autograph card. And you get this Felton Celestin autograph card, numbered out of 15. And if we get 20 more subscribers by the end of, I think technically it's Thursday or Wednesday at midnight. So tomorrow at midnight, we will add this Lazaro Montes autograph card. So that is a Montes, Celestin, Suarez, Robles, Crawford autograph cards, and $125 in Simply Seattle gift certificates. And all you have to do to enter, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment on any video from last Thursday to, today or tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Those are your last two. So you only have 2 more videos to enter, but you can enter once a day on all the videos we've recorded since we began the giveaway. So you have, I think it ends up being 10 total entries, maybe 12. And Ty and I are just going to pick a random video. And by that, I mean a software that we use will pick a random video, and then it will extract one comment from that video, and that person will be our grand prize winner. And when that happens, we will let you know how to claim your prize and whatnot. But anyways, if you have any questions, the terms and conditions are in the description down below.
That's right. All right. So what should the Mariners do about the number 5 spot, Colby? Should they skip it, or should this be Logan Evans? I think you know where I stand on this.
Yeah. First of all, Ty, it's nice to see you have a job, whatever that is. But yeah, let's talk about that for a second here. I'll tell you what's really the most annoying thing yesterday about the Emerson Hancock thing is not that you just lost a game in before the first inning, the top half of the first inning was over. You had lost that game. That sucked. But in a way, it was a little freeing. You know, you just kind of watch the game, no expectation, blah, blah, blah. But what's really annoying about the Emerson Hancock stuff is that there are people with platforms, people with megaphones in the world of the Seattle Mariners who continue to gaslight fans into believing that Emerson Hancock is a good starting pitcher. You hear it all the time. Whether it's, you know, somebody saying like the Mariners should go to a 6-man rotation because you can't take Emerson Hancock out of the rotation, or it's Emerson Hancock is so good that like he would be the number 3 starter in, you know, 20 other pitching staffs right now. And if you think that's true, right? If you're drinking that Kool-Aid, if you're buying that hype that people with platforms are telling you, let me ask you this. The Mariners were willing to listen on Luis Castillo. They actively talked about Luis Castillo. They listened on Kirby. They listened on Gilbert. They listened on Wu. They listened on Miller. You think they got to Emerson Hancock and they were just like, well, we can't trade Emerson Hancock. We'll talk about Bryce Miller, but we're not talking about Hancock. We're not going to trade him. Because you know what? If 20 other teams in this league thought that Emerson Hancock could be a mid-rotation starter for them, he wouldn't be here. He would have been traded this winter for the third baseman they needed, or for the outfielder they needed, or for the reliever they needed. And the reason that didn't happen is because 29 other teams in Major League Baseball know what Ty and I know, and know what any rational Mariners fan with a brain in their head know, and is that Emerson Hancock stinks. He is not worth anything. So don't let people gaslight you just because they're on the radio, just because they're on a broadcast, just because they have a TikTok. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking that Emerson Hancock is better than he is. He is not good. If he was, he wouldn't be here. Emerson Hancock is not being blocked by 5 starters who are better. Emerson Hancock is being blocked by the entirety of Major League Baseball because he stinks. That is why he is not in the rotation. That is why the Mariners don't go to a 6-man, and that is why the Mariners cannot trade him, because he stinks. It is not because he just had a bad day. It's not because like, oh, you know, you just don't get it. You don't understand. I still have a higher career WAR than Emerson Hancock. I am a better Major League Baseball player than Emerson Hancock. Stop with the gaslighting. The dude is not good. He is bad, objectively bad. Look at the numbers. Watch the games with your eyeballs. It is not an isolated incident. Trust what your eyes tell you. This guy is not good. He stinks. So don't sit here and tell me that, 20 other teams in baseball want this guy. Then why is he here? That is not a thing. I'm going to calm down now because I probably blew out a couple people's eardrums or their headphones. But it just
it's been a while.
Annoys me.
It's been a while since we got one of these.
So frustrating to look at, the Emerson Hancock stinks, and to see the flood of replies on social media and the screenshots and the quote tweets and blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're talking about. You never played the game. Like, oh, you just don't get it. He just had a bad day. He's such a nice guy. He might be the best dude in the organization. I do not care, and neither should you. He stinks.
Like I don't wish any like ill will against the guy. I just don't think that he's good at baseball.
I sincerely hope that one day the Mariners clip this cut and play it on the big board at T-Mobile because Emerson Hancock is having like a 4-win season. I hope that happens for the guy, because you can be the nicest guy in the world and I'll root for you. It doesn't mean I want Brett freaking Phillips to be my everyday center fielder. Okay. I don't care. Stop the gaslighting. Anybody telling you that Emerson Hancock is a good major league pitcher, has been or will be, is lying to you. And you are willfully accepting the lie because you want to believe it, because he's such a nice guy and because he was a first-round pick. He sucks. He's bad.
Yeah.
Kyle Gibson is a pipe dream. And it only took me 12 starts to realize that Kyle Gibson was a pipe dream. The guy sucks. He is Casey Lawrence. You want Casey Lawrence starting the next game? Casey Lawrence going to be a mid-rotation starter in 20 other rotations? No. If
I
he
might
was
want him
that
posting it up
good-
in a corner for a 3.
Yes, absolutely. Play pickup with him anytime.
Yeah.
I just distribute to him. But at the end of the day, he's not good. Trust your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't listen to people who tell you that, oh, you're wrong. They're gaslighting you. He's not
Colby.
a good pitcher, period. If he was, he wouldn't be here. He would have been traded for Alec Boehm or whatever. He is not that guy, period.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Emerson Hancock, after last night, is now worth a career negative 0.4 F4. What's your career F4, Colby?
0.
Mine is also 0. So therefore,
you know what?
You and I were
listening?
both more valuable major leaguers than Emerson Hancock. And you watching at home right now, you, unless you're Emerson Hancock, are more valuable major leaguer than Emerson Hancock.
If you are Emerson Hancock, let this fuel you and prove me wrong. It's infuriating to me. And now I get to be the jerk who's just hating on Emerson Hancock because there are people out there with platforms who won't just accept the reality and they continue to lie to people. And I'm not going to lie to people to protect a relationship with Emerson Hancock or the Seattle Mariners or whoever, because I don't have one. I don't need to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. And what it is that Emerson Hancock stinks with a capital S. Okay.
And a T and an I and an N and a K and an S.
He is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to you, to answer your question, they should probably just skip it.
I would give the ball to Logan Evans.
That's fine too.
This is the information gathering period.
Mm-hmm.
Like I brought up when we talked to TJ and Lyle a couple weeks ago, like I wrote about a couple weeks ago. Use this opportunity to see what you have in Logan Evans, see what it looks like at the major league level. It quite literally cannot be worse than what just happened last night. So for all of you out there that are like, Logan Evans looked bad in the spring. I mean, he also showed way better stuff than Emerson Hancock. Yeah. Hey, but for all of you that's like, he was so bad in the spring, he'll blow up. Look at last night. So
who cares?
Yeah. So at the very least, there's more long-term upside with Logan Evans. And I can see what it looks like at the major league level in case, I need to call him up again at some point down the road. Mm-hmm. So I would go with, they should have gone with him this turn around in my mind. I wrote about it a couple of weeks ago. So for those of you that are just like, hindsight's 2020. No, I was literally pounding the table for this a couple of weeks ago, saying that Logan Evans should have gotten that start last night.
You guys should just go back and watch the last few episodes or the few episodes from a few weeks ago when this popped up. Both thought Evans was better than Hancock. He deserved the ball. And I actually pounded the table for the likes of Lance Lynn and Drew Smiley and Spencer Turnbull. And that's a waste of money. Well, guess what? Spencer Turnbull probably going to give you more than 2/3 of an inning. And oh, by the way, what people aren't talking enough about is that Hancock probably just wiped half the bullpen for the rest of the series. Yeah. 4 guys who are probably unavailable for the next 2 days.
Which again, props to Carlos Vargas for at least saving Andres Munoz and Gregory Santos and those guys.
To the bullpen, the middle bullpen. Well, I mean, Snyder's better than middle, but Dan apparently disagrees, but whatever. The middle inning guys, they went 8 1/3 and gave up 3 earned runs.
Yeah.
Like, kudos to them. But unfortunately, now we don't have you for the rest of the Tiger series, almost certainly. And one of you is probably losing their job because Emerson Hancock can't do his. Sorry.
Yeah, I would guess that Taylor Saucedo is going to get sent down today. And just because he has a minor league option. And that's easy.
I mean, they should, but they might think, we got Logan. He's going to give us 6, and then we have the day off on Thursday.
Well, you can also send down Hancock if you're going to skip the next start, or you're going to eventually call up Logan Evans for Sunday's game against the Giants. So you can send down Hancock now and just have a 9-man bullpen for the next few days. Yeah, that's probably
Hancock, bring up Legumina.
Yeah, I would think maybe send down Hancock, send down Sauce, and then call up Legumina and maybe add someone to the 40-man, which would require you DFA in someone. But right?
Yeah, I mean, it would suck.
Is there 40 at 40?
Vargas. Yes, I believe it is
Yeah.
because of Tellez. It would suck to DFA Vargas after he actually threw the ball pretty well yesterday. But yeah, I mean,
you might have to.
You might have to.
All right, so let's switch gears and let's talk about what's coming up tonight. Mariners are going to have a way better pitcher on the mound tonight. Logan Gilbert, guy who just had one of the best opening day starts in recent Mariners history. Hopefully he can ride that wave of momentum into tonight, as
need him to.
This is the only favorable pitching matchup for the Mariners in this series. So yeah, kind of have to win this one when talking about just the series as a whole. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But first, a reminder: this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by SupplyHouse. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, SupplyHouse is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. So if you're still here with us after a classic Colby rant, we're done talking about Emerson Hancock for now. Don't tempt Colby. Yep. Hopefully not. Yeah, just give Logan Evans the ball. Speaking of Mariners right-handed pitchers named Logan Gilbert is taking a bump today. That's right. I'm a professional. Logan Gilbert coming off of...
Now you don't have a job.
That's right. Whatever that is. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, so Logan Gilbert coming off of a great opening day start. 7 innings pitched, just the 1 earned run on the home run by Tyler Soderstrom. That was it. He was fantastic. Hopefully he can ride that wave of momentum into this start against the Tigers, who he hasn't seen since May of 2023. And he's only seen, I think, 7 of their 13 position players. Not a lot of experience against Gilbert in this Tigers lineup. I believe Manuel Margot has like 3 doubles and a home run or something like that. So maybe we'll see Margot in the lineup tonight against Gilbert. But yeah, that's about it. I think Riley Green also is like 3 for 6 against him. But again, just very small sample size with these Tigers hitters against Gilbert. So yeah, on the flip side, it's Casey Mize, the former first overall selection all the way back in 2018. I can't believe it's been 7 years since Casey Mize was drafted. Yeah, he made the rotation after a really nice spring where his splitter showed some elite numbers. So we'll see how that looks in a real major league game. Casey Mize hasn't seen the Mariners since 2021. JP Crawford is the only remaining Mariner from that lineup that Casey Mize last faced. And he's only faced 4 other current Mariners, I believe, in his career. Randy, who's I think has a couple of home runs off of Mize. Jorge Polanco. Actually, no, Polanco is the one that has a couple of home runs. I think Randy has 1. Rowdy Tellez and Luis Castillo has an at bat against Casey Mize. Went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. But yeah. So how are you feeling about this one?
I think you should probably DH Luis Castillo before you DH Rowdy Tellez again. But
again,
yeah.
All right. Real quick, can we talk about that? Again, this is the information gathering period of the season, right?
Yep.
Like I just said with the Logan Evans stuff, I would just rather see like Austin Shenton, Dom Canzone, someone like that. Just see like, what do I have right now in one of those guys? Especially Shenton, who they really like. We know that they do. They tried to get him in a Teoscar Hernandez trade a couple of years ago. They finally got him back this winter. He's a lefty who probably should only play first base or DH, just like Rowdy Tellez. It's more athletic. There's more long-term upside there. I don't really get the Rowdy Tellez thing. To me, he's just a meme player.
Yeah. Always has been.
Like, and like, I'd be willing to give him a bit more leash. Because I know what everyone's saying. Oh, well, your boy Donnie Barrels doesn't look that good. At least Donnie Barrels has been a league average hitter the last 2 years. Rowdy Tellez hasn't been a league. Actually. Yeah, well above league average hitter. Mm-hmm. Rowdy Tellez has been like a 70 WRC plus in 2 of the last 3 seasons. And the other one was like a 90 WRC plus. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get the Rowdy Tellez thing, really, at all. I would rather see Shenton or Canzone on this roster.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not only the young guys you're taking the at-bats away from, you're also taking them away from Mitch Garver.
Yeah.
Like, Tellez is a bad fit. And we talked about this. Even with Haniger, you could kind of make it work. Without Haniger, you can make it work. But even then, I'd rather have a more flexible player.
But I didn't think we were going to see him play as much as he has already.
Yeah,
like he's like one of
against righties.
He's like one of their like main 9 dudes right now.
Right, and that is an embarrassment and not of riches. So yeah. Also, Dan trust him way too much. You left him in there against the lefty when it was pretty much your last chance to get back in that game. If you hit an extra base hit or you pop a home run against that lefty, it's a 1-run game. And all of a sudden the Tigers have to use more of their high leverage guys. They got to get guys up quickly. We know how these things change when a blowout all of a sudden becomes tight at a moment's notice. That's an advantage to the team that's trying to make the comeback. So it's just one of those things where, that was your chance to get back in the game. And you can sit here and be like, oh, Holton's a reverse splits guy. And, Luke Raley just had a good at bat against him. So I figured.
Yeah. So here was Dan's quote. Yeah. It was quote, "It's different when it's early like that. And we got a long way to go." That was the thinking there. We saw from Raley a pretty good left on left at bat. That has nothing to do with Rowdy Tellez. And look, Tellez's splits are basically the same against lefties as they are against righties.
But he had like 40 plate appearances last year against lefties.
But he's also just generally mediocre. So his splits being basically the same against both handednesses doesn't really matter to me. I would rather see Donovan Solano in that situation. Yes, I know he struck out 4 times in 7 at bats or whatever. I would rather see Mitch Garver in that situation. Garver, by the way, had a decent series against the A's where, had that ball not been killed by the wind that he hit to right field, we probably are having a different conversation about the kind of series that he had against Oakland, or not Oakland, rather.
They're Oakland.
Yeah, find me, like Goldie said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Play the music. But, it's just like, it's not just about what the pitcher does. Like, oh, the pitcher's a reverse splits guy. It's like, okay, we'll factor that in, but it's also about what does your guy do well? And Mitch Garver hits for power against left-handed pitching. And you needed the big blow, right? I mean, the Mariners offense did a very good job last night, but you look at the scoreboard, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 2 runs. And it's just like, I mean, that's cool. And you take that on a regular basis, but when you're trying to make that comeback, you need the 3-4 run inning. You need to take a chunk out of that deficit. And the bullpen couldn't exactly, they did a nice job overall, but they couldn't keep the score where it was. And so you're constantly chasing, trying to get back, which is typically what happens here. But you go to Garver, he hits a home run. And again, the odds of him hitting a home run are like what? 5%, 2%, whatever, right? But they're higher than the odds of Rowdy Tellez, doing anything to significantly shorten that gap on the scoreboard. And in fact, Tellez actually got to a 3-1 count, chased a fastball that was
he had ball 4, and he tried to send it to the moon.
Mm-hmm. And then he did what he did, and he struck out. Like it's frustrating.
He grounded out in that, I bet.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Actually hit the ball hard, but again, you hit it hard on the ground.
Well, after you swung over ball 4.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, I get it's early, like Dan said, and I hope he meant early in the season, not early in the game, because 6th inning, down by 4 runs, that is not early.
No, I think he meant we're early in the year. And again, this is the information gathering period, but it's like, how much information do you need to gather on Rowdy Tellez?
We sit there and we talk about, it's the information gathering period, and it is to a certain extent. But when you spend the spring talking about like, oh, we can't take any game for granted. We've missed the playoffs by one game. How many times again and again? And it's just like, we just can't, throw away opportunities when we get them, blah, 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 because one game could make all the difference. And by the way, Detroit, probably a team you're going to be battling for a wild card spot like you were last year. These head-to-head matchups matter because that's the tiebreaker now. There is no game 163, unfortunately. So these games do matter. And so, yeah, it's like, okay, you have to balance that. It's early, but also we need to win games. Like we have to. And it's the 6th inning, and not giving Rowdy Tellez one at-bat against a pretty good lefty is not the end of the world when you have an opportunity to still win a game that 30 minutes ago we thought was unwinnable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can turn the tide. You have to make smart decisions. And Dan, frankly, hasn't. Dan Wilson has been a problem through 5 games.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets better. I don't know. Blah, 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 whatever. We're not having that conversation about Dan Wilson right now. So we'll see. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, that was yet another questionable decision last night. And it kind of overshadowed a really good night for the offense. And hopefully they can do that again. If the offense looks like it did last night with any sort of consistency for the rest of this year, the Mariners are going to win 100 games. They're going to run away with the American League West. If the offense looks like that, and obviously they're not going to hit 4 home runs and they're not going to, score 6 a night, but they took walks. They laid off really close pitches. Strikeouts were totally manageable. The strikeouts and walks were nearly identical. They hit, was it 3 home runs, 4 home runs?
3. Yeah, it was Randy, Rayleigh, and Cal.
Yeah, they had 3 home runs. They had 2 doubles and a triple. They walked a lot, lots of hard contact. Like, last night was a very good performance by the Mariners. And, it's worth noting that, like, you'd say, like, oh, well, it's not like the Tigers used their best guys. And it's like, well, they used Hannafy. They used Holton. They used Will Vest. So, like, yeah, those aren't scrubs. They're Carlos Vargas's, right?
Yeah.
Who, again, no disrespect to Carlos Vargas, threw the ball very well last night. Even the one run he gave up, he got nickeled and dimed to death. But at the end of the day, like, if the offense looks like it did yesterday, and Casey Mize, we'll see what he looks like tonight. It's tough to say because, again, like you said, the Mariners haven't even really faced him. But if the offense can be close, to hit for some power, draw a few walks, limit the strikeouts, if they can do that over the course of the entire season, they're probably going to win the American League West. And if they look anything close to what they looked like last night for, I don't know, 40% of the season, then they're probably going to win 100 games. Like, that's how good the pitching staff can be.
Yeah. God, Randy is locked in right now. What is it? 8 hard hit balls so far in the year. And he finally got rewarded for a couple of them last night. He had the opposite field double and the just the monster home run that he hit in the 2nd inning.
Second, yep.
Yeah.
He should be hitting 3rd. Cal should drop down to 4. Also, Jorge Polanco, another hit, RBI single, hard hit ball. Luke Rayleigh had his first really good game.
He was really good last night,
A couple of walks, including one against the lefty, home run. Luke Rayleigh up to 250 average with a 1080 OPS for you OPS fans.
Ryan Bliss, you look at his average, it's only 083, but he had a 104 mile per hour exit velocity drive to deep center field.
He had a homer that got Marine Laird.
Yeah, it got Marine Laird. Yeah. So and it was the same exact exit velocity and distance as Randy's home run. Just hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. So all right. So tomorrow it's Luis Castillo against Tariq Skubal. Oh my God. I know Skubal
tonight or gets swept.
Yeah. I know Skubal had a rough start against the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are the Dodgers and the Mariners are not.
I mean, did the Mariners trade for Mookie Betts? Did I miss that? No? Well, then it's probably different.
Yeah. It's a bit different. Yeah. They also don't have Shohei.
I mean, they have Rowdy Tellez, though. So, like, who's the real winner here? Rowdy's got like a career 9 ERA in 3 appearances. So who's the real winner? But yeah, that also means tomorrow is our first post-game show of the year.
That's correct. Yep. So, be sure to join us a couple hours after the game, probably, for our reaction to, well, we'll see how that goes. We will certainly see. Gonna need a really good start out of Luis Castillo tomorrow, I would think, in order to win that ball game. Because even if the Mariners offense is kind of rolling, by that point, Skubal is very good at this baseball thing. Very, very good. Very good. So, yeah. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez. Colby at CPAT11, that's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.